Hello, YouTube. This is Problematic Boy. I haven't really made a Torchlight video since, or any YouTube video since our very start of the season, explaining my burst for Han and how weird I was building that and all this other stuff. And I've actually gone through and I made a level 100 Iris, Fire Iris, who is basically dummy capped and does all the content that I would want to do, and now I'm just sort of having, well, I was having fun with the Iris, but now I'm having fun exploring some other stuff. And as you can see on the screen, we are a Thea 1 Moon Striker. I mean, you might not be able to know what skill this is by me using it, because nobody plays Moonstrike, but this is in fact Moonstrike. Yeah, I'll go over some things. Now, I will talk a little bit about the sort of our content, what we're doing right now. It's not a complete build. It's not finished. Okay. It's also not. This is not a guide. I'm showcasing it. I would probably not recommend this, but I mean, it's fun to build. It's been fun to figure things out. So currently, we do 8-3 pretty comfortably. Okay. We can complete 8-4s, but with an occasional death. Not very often. Not even once a map, but occasional death. And the damage is almost there. We do average 8-4s, I would say. Like, they're nothing special. We can get them done. 8-3 is pretty comfortable right now on the build. And probably I would imagine the T2 boss invites are probably fine as well. And definitely not Uber Keegan right now, and definitely not T3 stuff on the bosses. I mean, obviously we kill Traveler, T8. Obviously, we don't need that much for him, and we do just about everything else. I haven't tried POB because I've been staying away from it, so I don't know. Probably up to 5, maybe. I don't know. At least we could complete 3s, I would imagine. And let's just go to do an 8-3. I'll do a stray one here. What are we at? Time mark 8-3 in here. Okay. Okay, I get it. And then we're gonna go here, and I'll bump it up. There's some mods we want to avoid that are blessing related. We didn't get any, so that's nice. Let me take a little sip of coffee since I just got up. That's some good coffee. And we're going to run through the map. Now, I'll talk a little bit. I mean, I'll go over things after we get through this map. It shouldn't take too long. I might skip runes, because runes is just a map extender that you should always be doing. If I wasn't recording, I would be doing it. Ooh, the on-death effects. Okay. Okay, let's kill this blessed rare. Alright. And we did. I picked up a crappy Frost Gamma relic. So yeah, just showing off an 8-3 right now. Pretty comfortable, I would say. We're tanky enough to not die to anything, unless it's very rare deaths or player error here. And as far as the playstyle goes, all I'm doing is I'm holding down. Yeah, I'm not going to do the runes because it'll take too long. I just want to show the freaking map. We're holding down the right mouse button, which is our Moonstrike, and we're holding down the Q key whenever we want to move. Whenever we want to attack with Moonstrike, all we do is... Okay, this is like a fucked up area. We just let go of the Q key, and then we start Moonstriking. That's basically what we do. Okay, there's on-death shit everywhere. Why? Okay. Now I can maybe kill these guys. I mean, I can. Are they healing? They have like regain or something. Yeah, maybe I can't kill these guys. So much for a showcase. They're like regaining from my minion. Or something. Maybe we can blow that guy up? No, he didn't blow up. Oh, we can kill this one though. He's regaining a little bit. He's still regaining a little bit. This is going very well. I want to kill it because it's the video, right? I might have to turn off my freaking... Okay, we exploded it. Okay. See? Easy. And then we come over here. We do the hunting whenever there's shit not happening. We'll do ice bond. I will do the dark surge because why not? It's fast. Sometimes I do have to manually hit the bull's rage, so. Oh, we got a boss. Look at that. Ooh, a Saintly Spear? No. Oh, this is also FE. Okay, well. Can't say I can complain. Okay, we got that. I'll do the black sail. Do I have a bride? Oh no, we're one off from it, so we won't be able to showcase it very fast. You know, bride goes so down so fast, especially once you get your character to a point when they can do like 8-3, 8-2 even. Bride is nothing. And like I said, I guess some of the blessed give a little bit of trouble, especially if they heal. I think there's a heal on the map mod, actually. Is there a heal? No, it's just those mobs have like an injury buffer or something. I'm not sure what it is. But, yeah. It goes pretty well. I'd say the comfortable farming spot for this build right now is 8-3. I wouldn't, go out of it. And then we'll talk about the build. Okay, I gotta blow my nose. No edits. That was a showcase. If you're only interested in seeing how the build does, that's fine. If you want to see some of the gearing choices, some of the talent choices, skills, links, all that stuff, I'm going to get into it right now. Not a guide, by the way. I'm just going to do a quick overview. Moonstrike is here. Levels are actually pretty good on Moonstrike, but I can't really get any in the build right now. Sad. But Moonstrike works by taking a percentage of your max mana cost and then converting it, spends that mana, and then it adds physical damage at the cost of the mana, right? So that is cool. I think the skill mechanically probably needs a little bit of work. I'm also not sure if parts of the skill's text are translated properly or if they are working properly, especially the added physical damage based on the mana cost. Seems to be weird. The dummy seems to agree with me. We have Raging Slash, crit damage increase, Steamroll, Erosion Pen, and Passivation, and we'll talk about that a little later. Spiral Strike, Quick Mobility, Hard, and Periodic Burst. Bull's Rage, good stuff on it. Force Start, necessary for Energy Shield characters. We are an Energy Shield character, but my camera's covering it, haha. And then we have Warcry Effect, Duration, Cooldown. Precise Fearless, Stand is one. Precise Energy Shield, or Energy Fortress, Precise Elemental Amp, Precise Erosion Enhancement, Elemental Amp works. We have Precise Ice Imbue, Fixate, Steel Conversion, and Thunder Spirit. Wow. And then we have here Corruption, Abysmal Hatred, Precise Elemental Resistance, and Precise Swiftness. Candles, we have this one that's kind of decent. It's got minus sealed mana and cooldown recovery speed on it. Cooldown recovery, very important. And then we have this one, which is Erosion Pen, Armor Damage Pen, and damage. So this one's decent too, but it could use some work, I guess. All right, let's go into gear. That's not the gear key. Haha, menus. So here is our gear. We're going to go with the helmet. Helmet, we could get a higher on the percent mana roll. We're also getting a very necessary defense roll here. This is a very defensive helmet of getting the Fizz conversion to cold, which is really good, and then getting some cooldown recovery speed and res. Here's the chest. Once you get to 8-3, I will say, once you're past 8-2 and you're into 8-3 and 8-4, the explode feels so necessary for this build. You need to be exploding. The area is really high on it, and it kills everything. So you really need the explode. We have a kind of poo-poo flat mana roll here, which could even be turn to a defensive roll if we really wanted to. Some erosion res, some crit rating, and our one focus button we can obviously optimize and get a second one there. Here's another necessary item for the build. It is the box. It doesn't have to be double corroded like mine, but I would recommend even a defensive box for this build. You get a lot of charge speed out of it, and there's also ways that you could fit in another defensive skill in this build if you wanted to. So I think defensive is probably the best way, and it's kind of cheap. So yep. And then we need also this glove base. It doesn't have to be as good as mine for the build to work, but you need this glove base, you need mana on it, you need crit damage, you need fervor, and then everything else is kind of whatever. I tried to get armor damage penetration on the prefix here, but it just didn't work out. So the restores 4% of mana when you use a skill basically makes your skill almost free, except for when you're in steep form. So this glove base is necessary. We have a very nice belt here that I like. It gives us a lot of DR, mana, res, damage per stack of blessing, and we stack a lot of blessings. And we get 1 focus, so it's really good. Here we have 2 focus boots with deflection, and I guess that's all there is to say about them. We have 2 focus reins. Obviously, if you're cheaping out, you could go for 1 focus, and this is also the wrong base. You want a mana base and not an erosion damage base. So maybe I'll change this rein at some point to a surge rein. It doesn't need any res on it. It just needs damage and maybe ES, but I could get mana too. I mean, hey. Daggers. Okay. Moonstrike can use a lot of different types of weapons. Okay, axes, one hand. You have to dual wield, but one-handed axes, one-handed swords, one-handed wands, one-handed, canes, one-handed. I don't even think you can use canes. One-handed daggers, one-handed stack blades. Eventually we land on daggers because it is an attack, and daggers have hybrid mods that seem to work out. You can get attack speed on them, for instance, and attack speed is very hard to get on this build if you're doing other types of weapons. And you also can get mana on the prefix, which is also really hard to do on an axe or a sword because they can't get mana on axes or swords. And mana is a really good scaler for this build. So we have elemental erosion penetration, erosion damage, and max mana. And then we have crit damage, chance to deal double, and attack speed. This dagger I'm prouder of. It has flat mana, which I'm not sure about the flat mana on the daggers. It's not a dead prefix by any means, but we could maybe get better. You always need the T0% mana on your weapons, I think, for this build. And then we have additional applied to life, crit damage, and then a T0 attack speed that we slammed. We're lucky. Alright, so that's the gear. If you are not running, if you're in like 8-2 and lower, and you're not really relying on the explode as much, you can maybe go True Sight Armor. True Sight Armor is like a slight damage increase. It's really not that much, though. Yeah, it's okay. And then the other gear options are just shittier versions of what I have. You can make a worse dagger, worse reins, worse belts. I mean, really up to whatever you want to do. Let me go into hero memories and relic and all that good stuff, and our choice here. Oh, did a little stretch. And then we'll go into talents and slate. Here we have the ideal relic, except for it's not T1 here. We get minus 27% for divine punishment cooldown, and we get 9% additional damage each time divine punishment consumes a fully stacked blessing recently, which is a big scaler for us. And we have these, which these memories apparently add a lot of damage. So yeah, I guess it's... For these, we need this to recover blessings. Blessing recovery is a really big part of this build. This gives us predictive sacrifice, which is also another great way to recover blessings. It means we have both 62 hero traits. We have this one, which is divine punishment for cooldown recovery and 8% main damage. I could go for another one of these if I wanted to, because I have them, but eh. As for what we're choosing predicted harvest for the recovery. The blessing recovery. We have this one because we already have the other one, and it gives a massive amount of CDR. And for the last one, we don't currently have a lot of max to agility or tenacity, or else I think we probably is a good idea to go predictive justice. But right now we just have we're just basically all max focus with some owns on the other two. And own actually doesn't interact with this. It has to be increase decrease on max. Now own still gives you max, but it doesn't work with this talent, or this trait. So right now we're getting the quad damage. We're capped on quad damage, and yeah, that's basically just what Feral Prophecy does. It gives us quad damage, which isn't as good as it sounds, but it's pretty good. It gives us a good amount of damage. All right, let's go to the talents. Also, my inventory is full. Shit. Okay, so we're doing a little weird thing with the talents, and you might have been wondering, why is he going erosion penetration? Shouldn't he be cold? It's, nope, we're not cold. We take a lot of flat cold damage, but we're actually converting it all, or almost all of it, into erosion, and we're getting a chance to paralyze. Now, it's very important that we're converting 99% and not 100% because we're still dealing 1% cold damage, which allows us to frostbite and freeze enemies. You don't need to, it's not based on the amount of cold damage you do, you just need to be dealing cold damage, and that will generate most of our focus. So we're generating focus with that last 1%, and then we're getting everything else converted into erosion to scale our damage. Here I have poison relief. This is necessary to survive. You need this to survive. If you don't have Forbidden Power on your slate yet, you still take Poison Relief because you will die if you don't. So you take Poison Relief. Next you go into Shadow Master. Unfortunately, we do need Ward here to survive. So you need Ward to survive because we're stacking a bunch of mana and we need the ES. Oh, I should do a Slow Pan. Hold on. Goddess of Deception, Slow Pan. For those interested, I do not recommend the build, but if you want to have fun building it and you want to, do some content with it. I mean, at least up to the point that I've tested it, right? Which is, pretty mediocre 8/4s, and I think the 8/3s are perfectly fine for farming, and you can get your 8 Traveler done and all that stuff. I mean, go right ahead. And then a Slow Pan here. I will say I just switched over to some Skill Radius, and the Skill Radius feels very good. I've become a Skill Radius enjoyer on my trees, so I think the two things that were important that I changed most recently in the towns is capping my energy shield regain and getting a bunch of Skill Radius. So we've capped our regain at 20%, and we have a lot of radius here. And this node in particular scales our skill cost within a 4-second window, and that is increasing the added fizz, which we also have converted to erosion damage. So keep in mind that this node in Arcanist is actually a lot of damage, and once you can sustain it, you should take it. Let's talk about the other major talents. We have this one in Shadow Master. We're stacking ores pretty well, so minus 15% additional still mana, pretty good. Arcanist, we have full load. This is a lot of damage. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. I might try mana, but it seems to only work for before life, so we're not actually getting this benefit, but yeah, 35% additional damage for the next main skill when the mana reaches max, and our mana is constantly reaching max after spending. So that's good. And then here we have this is where almost all of our flat is coming from, Mind Focus. So base effective Focus Blessing, we get cold damage equal to 2% of our max mana to attacks and spells. So let me talk about this interaction very quickly before I go into the slates. We have 17 Focus Blessings, we have 11k mana. It's 2% per Focus Blessing. So 2% of this is 228 times 17 is a lot of flat cold damage. I'm not. It's like it's like 3,000 something. Okay, and then we convert all that to erosion. The interesting interaction here is that in addition to having explode, we have a secondary explode called Precise Ice Imbue. Why Precise Ice Imbue? Well, Precise Ice Imbue does spell damage when it shatters. It also has an added damage effectiveness, which means all that added cold damage is going into this, and it's being converted into erosion damage, meaning we get a little baby explosion. It's not the best thing in the world, but it kills things fairly often, and it's pretty fun. And it also allows us to inflict 5 additional frostbites when inflicting frostbite. It gets us freezes a lot faster. That's basically what it is. Also, the other benefit of Precise not only gives you additional frostbites, but it also says 20% chance to trigger the shattering when defeating an enemy, not just killing a frozen enemy. So you don't have to freeze enemies to get a shatter. Sometimes you get it just when killing an enemy, and the shatter is noticeable. It's noticeable. Let's go into the slate. The slate is very important for this build. Pause. The slate is very important for this build. So here we have a slate that I bought that probably doesn't, another version of it doesn't exist. It has Bunch on it for an extra focus blessing, and the spell damage goes into our Moonstrike because Moonstrike inherits additional spell damage bonuses. And since we have 17 stacks, that's 30, 21, I believe, so 51% damage. 51% additional damage is a lot. And then we have Forbidden Power. If you're just doing the build regularly, just go Forbidden Power so you can go Poison Relief. That is the best option for you. Then on slates, you need at least one of these bad boys. You don't need to have the extra focus blessing on it. but you need one at least of this mod. I'm debating even getting rid of this other one for another version, part of this mod. But my blessing generation seems fine. 20% chance to gain tenacity blessing and agility blessing. We're seeing focus blessing. This is just to keep your blessing engine running. You need to keep your blessing engine running. And then it's very nice that we got, 2 mana rolls, a spell damage roll, and an additional focus blessing, kind of a 6 slate. Here we have a own all and a 35% chance to obtain steep strike attempts. Getting extra steep strike attempts, I'm not going to say everything about Moonstrike, but getting extra steep strike attempts lowers the amount of sweep slashes you need to do to enter the epic form that you do where you actually do your damage. So 35% lowers that from like 6 hits to like 5, and then I have another one here that's lowering it from 5 hits to 4, so we only have to hit 4 times before we go beast mode. Okay, so then we have an additional conversion of physical to erosion and also extra erosion damage at low life. And additional attack speed if we've dealt a critical strike recently. I don't think this mod is that great for the build, but it makes it feel nicer, so hey. And then we have physical skill level and max focus blessing. This is where we're getting our physical skill level from. I'm not so sure. I think it's maybe worth it to get something else because we can't stack level. It would be nice if we could do is level stacking, but it's just too hard to fit on the gear. So, and then this is the last one on the slate. We have some fizz damage reduction, some weapon attack speed, and this steep strike attempts, which is lowering that. And I think that's everything. Oh, there's so much in this game. Have I forgotten anything? Classic Problematic Boy 20-minute video. I'm not going to show pets because you can do whatever you want. Anything else? Anything else? I don't think so. Okay, see you guys next time. I'll do an update video probably when I get this stronger. There's room to grow. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.